Picture this, Erling Haaland peels off his marker, sprinting in behind it. Defense that's already lost the race. And the ball arrives exactly where he needs it, threaded through a gap that shouldn't exist, played by the one man on earth who could see it before it opened. Lionel Messi has just set up Erling Haaland, two of the greatest attacking players football has ever produced on the same team at the same time. What would actually happen if that became real? The first thing to understand is how different these two players actually are. Messi built his legend on close control, low center of gravity, the ball practically glued to his foot as he drifts past three defenders like they're standing still. Haaland built his on the opposite extreme, pure physical dominance, explosive acceleration, a striker who doesn't need to dribble past you because he's already run past you before you've turned around. On paper, that sounds like a clash of styles. In practice, it might be the single most complementary pairing the sport has ever seen. Have you ever watched two players who seem built to solve each other's weaknesses? Messi's greatest gift isn't just his dribbling. It's his vision, the ability to spot a run half a second before it happens and deliver a pass that lands perfectly in stride. Football analytics companies like Opta have tracked his expected assists numbers for over a decade, and year after year, he ranks among the very best creators in the sport's history, not just among strikers but among every player on the field. Now imagine that vision paired with a striker whose top speed and finishing efficiency are already breaking Premier League records. Haaland scored more goals in his debut Premier League season than most strikers manage in two. What happens when the best creator in modern football starts feeding the most clinical finisher? There's a tactical wrinkle here that makes this even more interesting. Messi doesn't just create for others. He also needs space to operate, room to receive the ball and turn defenders inside out. A striker like Haaland, constantly stretching the backline with runs in behind, would drag center-backs deeper and wider, opening exactly the kind of pockets Messi thrives in. It's a strange kind of symbiosis. Haaland's runs create Messi's space. Messi's vision creates Haaland's goals. Would defenses even know which threat to prioritize, the runner behind them or the creator in front of them? Coaches who have worked with elite forward pairings understand this dynamic well. Pep Guardiola, who managed Messi for years at Barcelona and now manages Haaland at Manchester City, has spent his career building systems around exactly this kind of complementary pairing, positioning one player to occupy defenders while another exploits the space that creates. The two players have never shared a club, so we don't have a season of data to study. But the tactical logic of pairing a deep-lying creative genius with a devastating physical finisher isn't theoretical. It's a blueprint that's worked at the highest level for decades, just usually not with two players this good at the same time. Of course, football isn't just about tactical fit, it's about chemistry, ego, and the willingness to share the spotlight. Messi has spent his career as the focal point of every team he's played for, the man the entire attack is built around. Haaland, despite being younger, has quickly become exactly the same kind of player, the non-negotiable center of his team's identity. Would two players used to being the answer to every question be willing to become questions for each other instead? History gives us mixed signals here. Some superstar pairings elevate everyone around them. Others quietly compete for the same spotlight until the partnership fractures under its own weight. There's also the matter of language, culture, and locker room dynamics, things that don't show up in a highlight reel but shape a team just as much as tactics do. Messi has always been famously quiet, letting his football speak for him. Haaland has built a public persona around confidence, sometimes bordering on showmanship, celebrations that have become almost as recognizable as his goals. Would that contrast create friction, or would it simply mean two very different personalities pulling in the exact same direction, each one comfortable letting the other dominate a different part of the spotlight? Statistically, the hypothetical numbers are almost absurd to imagine. If you combine Messi's assist numbers with Haaland's goals per 90 minutes, you're looking at a strike partnership that could realistically threaten 50, 60, even 70 combined goal contributions in a single season, numbers that would rewrite scoring charts across Europe. But numbers alone don't capture what would make this must-watch football. It's the specific texture of the partnership, the disguised through balls, the one-touch combinations, the moments where a defense does everything right and still loses, because they were never actually playing against two players. They were playing against one shared footballing brain split across two bodies. Maybe that's the real answer to this hypothetical. It's not really about whether Haaland and Messi could coexist tactically, though the fit is about as clean as football allows. It's about what happens when two players who have spent their entire careers being the exception suddenly stop competing for that title and start building something together instead. Would the result be the most devastating attacking partnership the sport has ever produced, or would two genuinely different kinds of genius simply be too much ego, too much instinct, too much singular brilliance to actually share a single game plan, defense that's already lost the race? But maybe the real question was never whether the pass would arrive. It's whether the two greatest players of their generation could ever really learn to need each other.